Alright, Geminis, welcome to your mid-September reading for the rest of the month. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do hope that you're all doing well, that you guys are, having a good time, remembering to breathe and to just enjoy the moment. Now let's see what the cards have to say for you, Geminis. What does Tarot want you to know? Okay, and the first card is the overall energies at play for you for the rest of this month of September. And the first card is the Emperor. Okay, so this is definitely a very fiery card, a lot of energy and a lot of direction, a lot of assertiveness in this card. So this card is all about authority and all about really putting your foot down and really coming into your own as well. I feel like this card is about realizing your strength, and not only realizing your strength but actually putting that to use. And it's like you're actually starting to make the orders instead of just, maybe some of you have been taking orders, or some of you haven't really been claiming what is yours, and now it's like it's your time to kind of, to assert your will and to really utilize the strengths and the resources that you have. This Emperor card is also associated with Aries, the suit of Aries. So this could be referring to an Aries, male or female, in your life. Probably a male, though. The Emperor is a very masculine card, so this could be dealing with a male figure in your life, and finally you're just starting to take charge. Or this could be, and it doesn't have to be one or the other, but this could also be you kind of reaffirming and regaining your authority in some sort of relationship, or maybe just in your everyday life. You're now you're in control, so you're in the driver's seat now. So really good things. I feel like a lot of you are, finally speaking up, letting your voice be heard, and really doing things for yourself now, not just trying to, keep the peace or please other people. I feel like you're really doing, making sure that you get what you deserve. And the next card is something for you, Geminis, to take note of, something that you may be missing that you may want to be aware of. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so hard work. This card is all about really learning some sort of craft, some sort of skill, something that you may not notice. Well, maybe somebody around you is really wanting to learn a lot from you. Somebody is trying to, absorb or kind of follow your your habits, or your the way you do something. Somebody is looking up to you in some way. And then for some of you Geminis, this is like, you are not, I guess for some of you Geminis, you're not being challenged at work or at the home, but mostly I feel like this is at work. And I do feel like you guys are missing that kind of challenge, that spark. And I feel like some of you maybe, wanting to spice up your repertoire, or adding some responsibilities at work, or maybe some of you are looking for another job. But I do feel like some of you are just not being challenged anymore at your current job. And one way or another, if you're not going to leave the job, although some of you may be considering that, I feel like you're wanting to change things up a bit. There needs to be a sort of change. I do feel like you are putting in the effort and the work, and you are working hard, but I do feel like it's getting really monotonous, kind of boring. And I do feel like some of you Geminis are wanting that. For some of you Geminis, I also feel like you may be missing, company. Like, I feel like this Three of Pentacles is like you want somebody to kind of work alongside you, and not necessarily bother you and be like all up in your face all the time, but I feel like you kind of miss that solitude, togetherness that you have with somebody. So maybe there was a sort of power struggle with you and another person, but I feel like even if you don't want this person in your life, I do feel like you do miss them still. You miss that company, you miss having them around, and you do miss the good times, which is normal. So I do feel like it's important to remember that you are in control, and not to let other people have power over you, but it's okay to kind of mourn the losses that you will experience. And I do feel like some of you Geminis may be, focusing more on your work or your career to kind of get your mind off of things, or maybe that's why you just had no room to really grow, and now you're really taking charge. So for some of you, this could be like getting a promotion. I feel like with this Emperor card, symbolize or representing authority and hard work. So you guys have been putting in that hard work. Some of you may be promoted, some of you may be just missing company of somebody, and your work may not be as joyous or as fulfilling, and some of you may just not be challenged at work, and so you may need to kind of either look for something more challenging, or maybe pick up a hobby, do something for yourself that challenges your mind, exercises your mind, or you maybe just wanting to switch things up a little bit, make things a little bit more exciting at work. But let's see what the rest of the cards are. The next card is general advice for you Geminis, and we have Ten of Cups. Okay, so I definitely feel like some of you may be really shifting gears and really focusing on your career, really grinding down, trying to get ahead in that aspects of your life. But I do feel like sometimes you Geminis may be forgetting about the softer aspects of life. You may be not really giving a second thought to your family, and possibly your friends, even anyone outside of the workplace. And I feel like maybe you've sort of not necessarily neglected them flat out, but you're definitely not making them your priority. And I feel like this is general advice, is like make some time for closeness, for togetherness with the people who love you, with your family and with your friends, outside of work. So I feel like some of you may be kind of almost obsessed with work, and I feel like this advice is like, don't be so caught up in that world that you forget about, the people who love you, and the things that, will be there for you no matter what. It's like a job will replace you. I mean, it's not going to be so easy, but at the same time, they're not your family, they're not your mom, they're not your husband or wife, they're not your kids, they're not your siblings. So I do feel like when this card shows up, especially with the rest of these cards, I feel like some of you may be focusing too much, and it is all about balance, but I feel like you may want to focus or shift your attention a little bit to your family and to your friends. Spend some time with them. And I do feel like maybe your work will be more fulfilling, because it's like, I do feel like, some of you Geminis are like not being fulfilled at work, and you're not really being challenged, and you're looking, at your work and thinking that you know, you need to change something there. I did say that you may need to change something there, but I do feel like now with this card, the Ten of Cups, it may be like, okay, you guys are, you know, not really satisfied at work. Is it work, or is it, you know, something else? Is another part of you missing? Is there something else missing? And, you know, is work not really the thing that you're actually, you know, that you actually should be stressing about? Okay, so the next card is the outcome card for you Geminis, and let's see what this card is. The Tower. Okay, so this is a major arcana card. This is a very heavy influence, and this is something that is going to shake things up. So maybe, I feel like for some of you, this is like, you know, the eventual outcome, or the outcome that you've seen coming. I mean, I do feel like some of you are taking back your power, and you're letting things end. I know at the beginning of this month, we had the September reading, and there was definitely a feel of walking away from something. And this Tower card complements that. This Tower card is like the foundation of something. This Tower, you know, which stands tall and obviously took a long time to make, and is reaching up into the heavens. It's been there for a while. It's been a refuge. It's been shelter. It's been safety for you. Even for these birds, you know, it was just like something that they knew would be there, and all the birds came there, and you know, it was there. And people tend to think of buildings as like, you know, set in stone or concrete, like it's always going to be there, it's going to stand the test of time. But this Tower is like, things are not permanent, and this Tower is, you know, is falling apart, it's falling down, it's collapsing on itself. And I feel like a lot of you, a lot of your home situations, a lot of your possibly the relationship situation, it's been rocky, and you've had to walk away. But I do feel like you're fully stepping into your power, which is good. Again, though, I feel like you're definitely going to still miss some things, and it's going to be different. This Tower card is all about change. It's about kind of having what you're used to, what you're familiar with, what you depended on, what you kind of took, not necessarily for granted, but something that, you know, was just always there. It was a given, you know, that is changing. It's being taken away from you. Not to say that, you know, it's being taken away from you, and you, as opposed to you're walking away, but regardless, things are changing. You know, the solid foundation, or the foundation they thought was solid, is falling apart, and things are just, you know, they're following, you know, just the natural order of things, and it is falling apart. And I know that sounds really scary, but it's actually a beautiful thing. But I do feel like for the rest of the month, at least, it's not going to be like, you know, the calm after the storm. It's going to be the storm. And I feel like some of you, you know, may be feeling unfulfilled, and I feel like it definitely, because you guys are Geminis, right? You guys have this duality about you. So I definitely feel that now. It's like a part of you is like, yes, I'm, you know, independent. I'm on my own, and I can do whatever I want. I'm, you know, exerting my authority and my dominance, my power. And then on the other hand, it's like, I'm lonely. I'm gonna miss, you know, I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss all the good times, and like it's been a part of me for so long, whatever it is. And so there's definitely that duality here, but this Tower is going to just wipe everything away. It's going to cleanse you. It's going to, you know, remove all the excess, all the unnecessary, and it is going to be rocky. It might be a bit chaotic, but at the end, hopefully soon, it's going to be a beautiful transformation. It's going to be a rebirth, and it's going to be a new you, one where hopefully you'll be more fulfilled. You won't be burdened by other people. And I feel like maybe some of you need to reach out, make new friends, or reach out to old people that you kind of fell off with, that you kind of lost contact with. And I feel like maybe because this Ten of Cups is general advice, it's like, you know, I feel like some of you for some of you, I definitely feel strongly like a divorce or a breakup or something. And so things are definitely changing. But I do feel like, you know, as general advice, I feel like you need to reach out. You need to be with people who support you, people who love you. I feel like it's not a good time to, you know, just stay in bed and, you know, keep to yourself. Like, don't hermit it out. Like, don't be a hermit and don't isolate people. Definitely, I mean, everyone needs their alone time, but I feel like, you know, you kind of miss that company. You miss having somebody there. And it's not like you're kind of, you know, just having filler, like you're making people just kind of fill the void. But I do feel like it's good to be around people to remind yourself that, you know, you still have so much ahead of you. You know, this is not the end. This tower can seem like the end, but it's really just making way for what's to come. It's going to be a new beginning, and I feel like it's just going to be, you know, the next level for you. You guys are going to experience something that, again, I hope will fulfill you. You know, life is a never-ending journey of learning, but I do feel like this is good for you guys. You guys are going to feel empowered, and, you know, it's going to be life-changing. What you're going through, or what you may be, you know, about to be going through. But definitely, I feel like right now, being around people, having a good time, I feel like that's what is critical.